Hello and welcome back to Pump with Purpose. I'm here to do a full review on the Elvie pump. So I owned the Elvie back in September of 2019 when I started my second journey, and it was instrumental in my journey. I had the Amita Platinum, and of course it's a hospital grade pump. I was tied to the wall, so when I needed to hustle and bustle, I needed to be out on the go, I needed to multitask at home, the Elvie was the way to go. I even pumped at a fair with an Elvie. It is the greatest pump when I knew how to pop it in with no distraction, take it off with no distraction. So it was the way to go for me. And so I recognized when I started in September of 2018, there were only two pumps on the market, and it was the Elvie and the Willow. So I did a lot of research, and times have changed. So they're both, still around. There are other wireless pumps as well that has been added to the market. And so Elvie worked for me. It worked well for me. I know that every pump has its pros and cons, but I really, really like the Elvie. So I will get started. Keep in mind, these are replacement hubs, so it doesn't come with a nice box and everything. So I have all the pieces here separated, and I'll go through each part about how to assemble. So to start out, I'll start out with the flange. And so Elvie comes with 3 flange sizes. In the traditional box that you would buy new, they have the size 24 and 28, but they also make a size 21, which is what I have here. And so I will get started on how to assemble. So these are the flanges here. All right. So when using the Elvie, you have the flange here and the spot for the backflow protectors. So that is the flange. We have bottles here. This has a pack of 3 bottles. So when you buy separately, it's weird because you have 2 pumps, but I guess if you needed to refill or replace, they do come with the 3rd bottle. So it's a 3-pack. There it is. So the bottle does come with a cap on it, so you can take on and off. You just twist and it opens. So those are the bottles. Then we have the actual seals. They call them seals, sorry. They have different names, different versions for every pump. There are 2 seals in here, just shuffled around, I guess, in shipping. But I do have 2 seals here. And finally, we have the spout and valve kit. So this is the kit for that. It's a 2-pack, and it is here. So I will get started on assembling this all together. So I will start with the bottles here. So in order to use it with the pump, you have to take the cap off. Make sure to save the cap, have it in your breast pump bag or wherever you like to keep it that is safe, so you can, when you're finished, close it up. So these spout and valve, you just twist it on. I'll do it again. So you just pop it on. There is a line to line it up, and then you just twist it around and it pops on. And then you put the spout on top. And that is 1 bottle assembled. So I'll do it again. Just take the cap off and you assemble. You just twist it on and put it on top here. So also a great idea, great thought as well, when you are finished pumping, the spout removes and it has a great pour feature. So also remember that it pours as well. So it's a great thing, so you don't waste anything. You just take the spout off and pour it out into your bottle. So that is the other bottle that's assembled. And so we have the flange here, and we take the seal here, and there's a little indentation on each side to tell you where to place the seal. So you just seal it on there, and it's on. It goes in the the spot for it. And you do the same thing with the other. You find the right spot and it's there. And you just put it on and it's assembled. So from there, you can take the flange and you just stick it inside here. And I will do the other. And you just stick it inside. So the flange is now on. And then you have the bottle. So you will see the spot for it here. And it goes inside. And you hear a snap. So I'll unsnap it. There's a button here that you press to get the bottle off. But there's a little noise that happens to let you know that the bottle has been secured into the hub. You hear that? That is that. So that is one. And I'll do the same thing. So you just stick it inside and you hear the snap. So I'll give you a tip, a hint. So sometimes people complain about the Elvie and its suction and it's not right, something's off. I didn't know this at first, but someone gave me this great tip, so I'm here to share it with you too. So if you ever put it on and it's not suctioning well, a thought is at times you pull the flange off here. Sorry, of course. Just unassemble it, pull it out, there we go. So it's brand new, so sometimes things have to get loosened up. But, so it's on and then I pull it off, it just has to loosen up. But there is the green spout you can see inside here. So if you take this and you press it back towards the hub, sometimes the green flap gets stuck under once you put the bottle on and cap it together with the hub. Sometimes this green spout gets hooked under the hub. So if you just take your hand and you just push it back, it will release if that green spout is tucked inside. So that is a big key, a big tip. The moment I did that, I would regain suction again like normal. So just a quick tip out there for the Elvie. So just pop it back on. And so the Elvie is fully assembled now. And that is how it goes. So let's talk about how to use and how to care for. I think that is a great next step. So when using the Elvie, it is great to position in the right spot to get the proper suction. So the best thing that worked for me was I would bend over like this. I'll stand up. I would bend over and align it with my nipple. So if I'm bent over like this, I would take my nipple and make sure that it's centered in and push it in. And then I would take my bra, I wear Kindred Bravely, and I would push it back, put it back on top of the Elvie. So again, I'll do it again. So I would take my bra down, bend over, make sure my nipple is positioned in the center of the Elvie, push it in, and then put my bra back up over me. And so please keep in mind that another thing people, complain about the Elvie, it can leak. So this is not a pump if you are wanting to be active, if you want to lay down and go to sleep, if you want to be very mobile in it. Once it fills up, the milk will move around, and either the milk will hit, the ideal thing is the milk would hit this black disc too much and risk it leaking, so it will automatically shut off. So that's the ideal. Sometimes it doesn't happen, and if you're moving around too much, it will leak out because the milk will just move around too much. And so it's something to keep in mind when you're using the Elvie pump, that I would use it. I could walk around, but I couldn't do a fast walk, especially once it would get full 4 or 5 ounces in there. The bottles hold about 5 ounces each. It says it should cut off when it gets to that level to avoid leaks. So keep that in mind. I did have my Elvie to shut off on me, but it did work for me. Another thing to keep in mind as far as when using the Elvie is that I had a desk job, or I rode a train, and so I would not have to be as mobile. I didn't have to lay down to sleep with it. Some people say that it may not empty them well, so I do think that people should keep in mind to continue to still use their regular traditional pump outside of it when you can get a moment to use it. I do recommend, if you are not 12 weeks yet and your supply has not regulated, sometimes it's not best to start out with the cups or wireless pumps. It's good to let your supply establish well with a traditional flange first. And so you will know, usually at X pump, I get between this amount. So you will know if the Elvie is effective in emptying you, because you know on average what you produce each pump. So I highly recommend, if you need to use it as a, in a bind, it's great, but I really highly recommend waiting until your supply is regulated in order to use the Elvie. So I think that is another key with the Elvie as well. So let's talk about operating the Elvie, and then I'll talk about care. So operating the Elvie, you press the button here and it turns on. The button here at the top will light up. This is the play and pause button, so you can play or pause. There is a button here for left or right, depending on which breast you're using. So right, of course, is right, L is left. And so left, right, it is self-explanatory, whichever breast you are using, to make sure that the dial is on or the button is lit up on that side. And so the Elvie, the plus button is here, the minus button is here, so going up and down. And so you would turn the Elvie on. I want you to hear how quiet this is. That's the Elvie, and it starts out in expression mode. It does automatically turn over to expression mode. It starts out in letdown mode, It starts out in letdown mode, and it does automatically switch over. So you can go back and forth or turn it off to go back into the letdown mode. So it does start in letdown mode again, and then it will switch out into massage mode, I think around 2 minutes. So this is how quiet this pump will switch out into massage mode, I think around 2 minutes. So this is how quiet this pump is. It's amazing. And so that is that pump. So I'll do the same with this one. So turning it on, I would put this on my right side, but this is the button to switch sides. This is the pause and play button, the plus and the minus. The pumps look the same, act the same, and you would just start up, and it's so quiet. So that is a little bit about the pump, and it pause, start back up again, and pause. So that is how to operate the Elvie. That's the best way that worked for me. So then let's talk about care. I think care is a great next step. So I personally did not sterilize. I did not use the dishwasher in any way. I hand wash all Elvie parts. It can warp it or get these cracks in it based on how hot it gets and steaming it. I did not boil it. I just used hot soapy water to wash and then to rinse in cool water. So I did not use, again, the dishwasher or any baby brezza or any sterilizer or boiling it on the stove or anything like that. I strictly hand wash in hot soapy water because there can be issues with warping or the there are these little cracks that can come in it if you use something that's way too hot. So just highly recommend with care. As far as there can be milk that will accumulate here, so it's always good if you can, at least at the end of the day or within every pump, to wipe out the milk, because it does come in from this area here from the flange and then comes into the bottle. But if you're moving around and everything, milk can get in this area as well. So it's really great to keep it clean, keep it sanitized as well. So please remember to clean under the Elvie. So that's a little bit about the care. I will mention the app. So Elvie does have an app that comes with it as well. I personally did not use the app at all. I think I heard it's gotten better with being accurate about what's in your bottle, but it drains your battery or rechargeable battery a lot quicker if you use the app. So I just pulled it out, and whatever I had in my bottle is what I had. And so just wanted to keep that in mind, that it does have an app. Some people like the app. I personally did not use it due to it draining the battery, and it was inaccurate back then anyway. And I keep track of what I produce separately in an app called Glow Baby. So it really wasn't important. I just poured out the milk into my bottle and use that for measuring versus what the app said. So this is the Elvie. So let's talk about, I have used other pumps as well, so I will be doing a full review on comparing the Elvie. I am trying to get my hands on a Willow, but haven't had the opportunity to do so yet, so I can compare the Willow and the Elvie. I have used the Mom Cozy pump as well, and just to talk through different options about when is the Elvie the right decision over the Willow or Mom Cozy. There are different considerations to keep in mind. I will say that it does come with, didn't want to forget this, it does come with it does come with cords to charge. They have two separate cords here. It does not come with a socket though, because you can use your computer, anything that charges by USB. So I personally use the Anchor charger. So I use this when I need to charge if I'm out and about. It has two plugs here, so I would plug it in and then plug it in the Elvie. It has, I also like these as well. You can get these on Amazon. It's just a socket that has the two USB cables with it. So if I'm out and about as well, I would use the Anchor chargers. I keep it in my bag so I can have it at all times. The Elvie charge for me would last 2 or 3 times pumping, 30-ish minutes. As an exclusive pumper, I have to pump at least 30 minutes at a minimum. So it would last a few times to pump. And then there is a little thing here and the USB charger, but the plug, the micro, I don't know what the exact name is, but you just plug it in here and you make sure the charger is on here. I don't have any juice left. Yeah, if you knew me, I never keep anything charged. So I need to start doing better, especially if I'm gonna have rechargeable options here. So that won't be a good look to be out of juice, but I was. So you will see in a moment, the Elvie will have lights here. I don't know if you can really see it. It's kind of hard. I have to get the right angle. So right now it's like an orangey color because it's almost needs to be charged. So when it is fully charged, it turns green. And so just to keep in mind, do not overcharge the Elvie. It will damage it. So make sure to, when it turns green, to take it off the charger as well. And so Elvie has a 2-year warranty. That was a big plus for me as well, was the warranty. Elvie's customer service that I've dealt with has been very great to work with, to troubleshoot issues, to talk through issues. So let's talk about, because I've mentioned in different posts about having elastic nipples. And so for me, the Elvie did work for me with elastic nipples. I used the Bojan cushions. Those were a big hit for me. I'm going to see, so I used the 24 flange when I previously owned the Elvie, and I would use the cushions. But now with the 21, I'm gonna see how it does for me, having the 21 millimeter flanges, and see if I still need the cushions. So if I do, I will definitely purchase the cushions. So if you have elastic nipples, just keep in mind that the cushions can work really well. The only real negative for me, I love the cushions, but they do have to be changed every month or two. They get a yellow, your milk, and over time will end up turning the cushion yellow, and it needs to be cleaned, and then eventually it just needs to be replaced. So those are some other topics, some other things to consider when using the Elvie to troubleshoot, to make sure it works well. It's not a perfect pump by any means. It is the sleekest, slimmest pump on the market, so it goes really well in your breast. It doesn't bulge. If you are uncomfortable, I would wear a scarf or something with it. But yes, it increases your breast size some, but you see how sleek, slim it is. There, nothing odd sticking out from the top or anything like that. It's smooth here as well. So the Elvie to me is great. The price point, some people, it's a lot to spend $500 on a pump. And then if you need extra accessories, the seals are, for replacement is $17 or $16.99. And then the spout and valve pack is another, $17. And then the bottles, it comes with it, but if you ever need separate or more bottles, if you're an overproducer or want to be able to pump and have different bottles and stuff, multiple parts, it just adds up. So, there are other more cost-effective pumps. The Elvie just really worked well for me now that I've used other pumps. So I'm not going to hint into, some of my future reviews on how I feel about other pumps, but I really, really like the Elvie. The price point it's there, it's pretty high, but the comfort of it to me, the quietness, the ability to be more mobile, be more flexible, have the convenience, I do really like the Elvie. And I always say that it's better to pump something than not at all. So when you're busy and you need to pump, your baby's crying, or you need to change or feed, the pump is right there. So you can hold your baby, you can feed your baby, you can walk around, you don't have flanges sticking out. So that was a big, big plus for me with the Elvie. And so it is a great pump in my opinion. I really like it. I was able to be successful for 6 months using the Elvie to maintain my supply. It did not empty me. I will say again, it did not empty me. I would still have to use my Amida Platinum when I could sit down, and definitely at night. So I always made sure to use my Amida Platinum before going to bed and once I woke up, because I was going 6 hours between pumps. So I needed to be effective in removing milk since I did sleep for 6 hours. And so the Elvie did not empty me. It can empty some people, it just did not empty me. So please keep in mind when you're using it, if it doesn't empty you, to watch your breasts, feel for clogs, feel for lumps, feel for anything that could turn into a more serious condition like mastitis or something like that. So please realize if the Elvie does not empty you, to use a regular pump as well. So this is my full review on the Elvie. I hope it is helpful. You will be seeing me using the Elvie in the future as well, and giving more tips and tricks. So until next time, Pump with Purpose.